So we're coming up to a week of Season 13's release, and with Season 13 became a lot of weapon changes. And with these weapon changes, we can now create the brand new best weapon combos in Apex Legends Season 13. Hey, how's it going? I hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Dominate, and again, welcome to the channel. I post every other day to help you become an Apex Legend, so if that is something you are interested in, then make sure you do go down below and drop a sub. So yes, as I said, today we're going over the best weapon combos to be using in Apex Legends Season 13. Obviously, I've had to make an updated video on this because of the amount of weapon changes this season. If you want to know what the weapon changes were, how these affected the game, and the best weapons to be using in the brand new season, then make sure you watch this video in the top right hand corner on your screen now, and it will also be in the description down below. So there are a few ways we're going to do this video. Usually I just go over the top 5 best weapon combos, but today I'm going to go over different categories. So I'm going to have the best weapon combos for different scenarios, such as the best weapon combos for a medium range class. Alongside that, we have the best weapon combos for long range, close range, and finally we have the meta combos too. So today we're going to start with the best meta combos, and these conclude of some of the more meta weapons, the weapons that are used more often, the weapon combos that are more frequent throughout seasons too, and trust me, there is a reason why these weapon combos are used all the time. So starting us off will be the good old trusty R301 PK. Now we all know that the R301 is an absolute beam. Not only that, it takes the light ammo, which is the most common ammo within the game, so when you are using an R301 you won't be short of any bullets. The R301 can practically be used at any range. You can put a 2-4 to use it for long range, a 2x for medium range, and then a 1x or iron sights for close range. To go alongside the R301, we have the Peacekeeper. Usually I would put the Mastiff here, but as the Mastiff has been put back into the care package, the Peacekeeper is now the best shotgun within the game that's in the general rotation. So alongside the R301 to do the long and medium range, you then have the Peacekeeper to swap to when the fight becomes close range. If you've got an option to use an R301 or a Peacekeeper close range, you are going to choose the Peacekeeper. The Peacekeeper is especially good close range if you have the kinetic feeder attachment on, and these two weapons combined make an absolute killer combo. Next up, we have the car SMG and the Wingman. The Wingman has been an absolute staple within the game ever since its release, and it has never changed. The weapon can be used at medium to close range, and the car SMG is for close range too. The Wingman takes precise aim, and that's the reason why it's on this list, because if you can hit your shots, half the time you won't even need to swap to your car SMG for the close range, because the Wingman will do it more effectively and much quicker too. When you have a boosted loader attachment on the Wingman, it becomes 10 times better. If you reload with 3 or less shots left in your mag, you will be granted 11 shots when you reload instead of 9. That is if you're using a purple or a golden mag. Now, as I said, to go alongside the Wingman, we have the car SMG, and the reason for this is an absolute beam when it comes up close. Now, you could say that the R99 is better, but the fire rate is a lot lower than the R99, which means you can take more time to reset your aim to get it more precise. Your mag won't be emptied in a matter of seconds. Not only that, you can change the ammo type, and this is huge. As I discussed with the R301, light ammo is the most common type of ammo in the game, so if you're running a car SMG, by all means use heavy ammo, but if you're starting to run out, then don't be afraid to go looking for light ammo, because it'll be much easier to find. This is the reason why the car SMG is more meta at the moment, is because it has that versatile gameplay where you can switch up mid-fight. Finally, for the meta combos, we have the Spitfire and the PK. Now again, the PK is back in with the meta combos, and that's because this weapon is just so meta. Shotguns are meta when it comes to Apex, and realistically you want to be using a PK over an Eva 8. You may prefer the Eva 8 over the PK, but when it comes to overall stats, the PK does take the winner. Now, if you don't believe me, I do have a shotgun guide when it comes to Apex, where I test every single shotgun from the Peacekeeper all the way down to the Mozambique. We test each and every portion of the weapon, such as fire rate, damage, magazine size, all of these things. If you do want to watch that whole video, then again, it'll be in the top right hand corner of your screen now, and it will be in the description down below. So yes, the Peacekeeper is the best shotgun now in Apex. Apex, apart from the Mastiff, and that's why it will be popping up on this list at least one more time. So yes, we now have the Spitfire pairing with the Peacekeeper. Obviously, the Spitfire is brand new back into the rotation of Apex, and the reason why it's meta is just because the way it punishes people out in the open. If you get caught out in the open against a Spitfire, it will not be good for you. Spitfire absolutely punishes anyone who is out in the open, forcing them back to cover just because of the hard hitting damage this weapon does. It has a very high mag. It was reduced from 55 to 50, but still 50 ammo in one clip is absolutely disgusting. So now we're actually up to the different type of playstyle weapon combos now. Starting us off will be the long range. When it comes to long range, I believe that the longbow and an R301 is really good. The longbow covers the long ranges, picking at people's shields. If they decide to push any closer, you can then dominate them out in the open with an R301. With an R301, you can use any sight, but I would suggest using a 2 to 4. You can have a sniper scope on the longbow, and then you can have a medium close range scope on the R301 to cover the ranges that the longbow doesn't. Now, I believe that longbow is the better sniper to be using. Yes, you could use a charge rifle, but the charge rifle doesn't dominate the way that the longbow does, especially in situations where players decide to jiggle peek. If they're peeking in and out, in and out, in and out very rapidly, if you're using a charge rifle, you are literally got to tickle them for 4 damage every single time they peek. If you're using a longbow and you time it perfectly, you will be cracking their shields every time. So realistically, you could swap out the R301 for another weapon of your choice, something like a shotgun or an SMG. But for this video, I'm going to be using the R301 as a placeholder for other weapons that you decide to use. But again, when it comes to that long range, I would decide to use a longbow over any other sniper. Now, for the medium range combo, I would suggest using a Spitfire and a car SMG. This works similarly in the way that the long range does too. So we have the Spitfire to cover that medium range and punish the people out in the open. Here, I would decide to either use a 3 times or a 2 times on my Spitfire. Again, that punishes people out in the open, especially at medium range. And again, for the car SMG, it goes over what we discussed at the very beginning of the video. It is very versatile. It can switch up mid-fight from heavy ammo to light ammo. And again, I know I keep shoving this down people's throats, but light ammo is the most common ammo within the game. If you're running a Spitfire that's going to be taking a hell of a lot of heavy ammo, you might want to use a car SMG that takes light ammo. The car SMG can absolutely dominate up close. Again, for the same reasons as before, the fire rate is slower, so it's easier to track and readjust your aim mid-fight. So the car SMG to me is the perfect accomplice to the Spitfire LMG. So moving on to our final weapon combo today, the close range combo. And this one consists of the R99 and finally the Peacekeeper. If you're playing very aggro and up close, then the R99 PK is the weapon combo for you. The R99 takes light ammo. Again, we all know this. Light ammo is the most common ammo in the game, and this is especially needed when it comes to the R99. The fire rate on this weapon is absolutely insane, as we all know. If you're using a purple or a gold mag, you're going to have 27 shots within a mag, and make sure that you have a lot of light ammo because you will be shredding absolutely through it. Not only that, you will be shredding all of your enemies too. Because of the fire rate, this weapon has a pretty high DPS too. If you don't know what DPS means, it means damage per second. So this weapon shoots a lot of ammo and does a lot of damage. And finally, you have the Peacekeeper to go alongside the R99. If you get someone absolutely one shot with the R99, you can then swap over to the Peacekeeper and get the final hit on them. The way I actually like to use this weapon combo is the opposite way round. I like to start the fight off with a huge hit from the Peacekeeper, swap over to the R99, and then absolutely beam the enemy until they are gone. The Peacekeeper is the best accomplice for this weapon, as unlike the R99, it has a slower fire rate but has hard hitting damage. So just to recap all the weapon combos that I've gone over today, for the meta combos, we have the R301 Peacekeeper, we have the car Wingman, we have the Spitfire Peacekeeper. For the long range, we had the longbow R301. For the mid range, we have the Spitfire car SMG, and for the close range, we have the R99 Peacekeeper. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you found this video helpful and or entertaining in any way, shape or form, then make sure you go down below and drop a like. While you're down there, you might as well subscribe to be entered into the next subscriber shout out. You might as well, as it's free, and if you really do want to, you can decide to unsubscribe later. So yes, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for 1.6k subs. We're fast approaching 2,000 now. Thank you guys so much for your support. Once again, it's been my pleasure, and until next time, keep dominating legends.